Same time, you also want to be taking your bottom hand off the bars. Don't try this unless you have both the one-hander and the one-footer wired. Donovan Ritter rages ramp surfaces wherever he goes, but his best airtime is put in on his own ramp near San Diego.
The can-can is the raddest one-footer you can do, but you have to be quick. Watch how Eddie Fiola works the pipe, going back and forth inside it to build up speed and momentum before dropping into the bowl, shooting up the wall, and snapping off another perfect can-can. Flexibility adds creativity. You can do your kick on either side. Either way, you need plenty of air to pull this off.
Brake control and body English are the keys to hitting killer crickets. Start out by doing a front brake endo with your feet on the chainstays. As your back wheel lifts off, bend at your knees and release your brakes. This pumping action will make the bike roll backwards. To bring the back end down, drag the front brakes and straighten your legs. Repeating these moves will keep you rolling for days. Martin earns extra style points with crickets by tossing in bar spins and occasional front wheel sliders just to wow the crowd. The decade, or walk around, is one of the tricks that gives freestyle its breakdancing look. With your feet on the rear pegs, do a small front brake endo to gain backward momentum. As your back wheel touches the ground, lock your rear brakes and jump your right foot onto the top tube. Quickly push off with this foot and walk around the head tube with your left foot. As your front wheel comes back to earth, step onto the right pedal, release the rear brakes, and ride away.
Ground tricks aren't the only area of freestyle where you can get creative. Any freestyler who can ride a bike can create his own tricks. The basic look back has taken on many different forms over the years. One-handed look backs and can look backs are proof positive that the sky's the limit when inventing new aerial creations. Kuwahara's Tim Rogers brings you some slow-mo styling as he leads the way to look back lunacy. Look backs are done at least 3 feet out, so before you try laying one on the neighborhood, be sure you can get at least that far out.
Kuwahara's Tim Rogers is one of the hottest young riders to come out of the pipeline in years. You've already seen what he can do on ramps. He's just as impressive at the pipe. Tim is a master of aerial versatility. With a half pipe in his backyard and the pipeline only 30 minutes from his house, it's no wonder that Tim is as hot as he is. He's only 16 and he's still getting better.
When freestyle's mad scientist Brian Skura isn't concocting high-tech hardware for the masses, he usually spends his time dreaming up new moves to wow the crowds at shows around the world. The Miami Overture is Brian's hottest creation. The trick starts out with a basic Miami hopper, but things get pretty hectic soon after that. When both grips hit the ground, grab the rear axle pegs with your hands. Shift your weight back and let the bike flip up on the saddle. Grab the front tire with your left hand and switch your feet on the pedals. To ride out of the upside-down position, pedal your bike, pull up on the forks, and go into a regular seat grinder. Freestyle is a sport for everyone, from old-timers like Brian Skura to pint-sized wonder kids like Mongoose's Trevor Hernandez. Trevor doesn't do all his styling on a 20-inch, though. His brand of radness is perfect for the scooter scene, too.
Fakies can vary in radness from the 2-star run-of-the-mill fakie to the 4-star fakie air that Mike Dominguez gets into. The most important thing to remember when doing fakies is to keep yourself centered on the bike. Keep your arms and legs loose, because if you tense up, you'll probably bail.
They call him Tony the Tiger, and it's not hard to see why. Tony Murray is one of the most fearless skate park riders in the country. He was the king of the Del Mar Skate Ranch when that park was in its heyday, and he has no trouble bringing those skills to the pipeline. He's an aggressive rider who can shred anything, from vertical concrete to chain-link fences. Both Tony and Eddie make fence plants look easy, but they're best reserved for the pros. Just try to imagine flying up and out of the pipe, landing on top of a narrow rail, then jumping back in. There's a fine line between perfection and disaster at the pipe. Concentration is critical. Remember, it's a long drop to the bottom of the tunnel, and you don't want to make a mistake.
Skyway's Maurice Meyer is a serious street styler from the San Francisco Bay Area. Although slippery tiles aren't the best surface for hardcore radness, Drob doesn't have any problem blasting killer 540 spinners on them. Maurice has a healthy arsenal of power moves to his credit as well. The backwards gut lever is probably the scariest looking, but it's also one of the easiest to learn. Roll backwards at a medium speed with a reversed grip on your handlebars. Lean your body into your elbows and slowly support your weight on your arms, concentrating on keeping your legs straight for maximum style points.
Kuwahara's Randy Tishman explodes into action again with the Tishvert, which basically is a one-footed invert. Randy is world-renowned for his inverts, and it's the aggro styling that Randy gives to the trick that makes his name a part of it. The object of the invert is to get your wheels higher than the handlebars. Taking off a foot adds another star to this 3-star trick. When the can-can was invented in early 1985, it blew people's minds. Once they were used to seeing the standard can-can, the one-handed can-can followed. Since then, the limits have been pushed with the no-footer can-can. The basic can-can is a 3-star move and can usually be learned in less than a week.
One of the wildest areas at the pipeline is the treacherous combi pool. It's long been a favorite with the top skaters, but BMXers like it too. When it comes to variety, there's nothing like the combi. It's actually 2 bowls combined in one. Half of it is square, the other half is round, and the whole thing is radical. You can carve it, fly out of it, practice ground tricks alongside it, or even jump the canyon leading into it. It's got 4 feet of vert and coping too, so it's no place for beginners. But for the experienced rider, this bowl can be a blast.
Freestyle lives in the streets, then Kuwahara's Dave Vanderspeck calls the city's sidewalks his home. This curb dog raised moves like his Vanderroll and this boneless rebate from the pavement. And freestyle magician Randy Tishman is no slouch on the ground either. He pulls off moves like his Randy Roll like rabbits out of a hat. If Randy Tishman is the freestyle magician, then Pat Romano is the sport's Mr. Hollywood. Pat's style of artistic cycling has landed him countless parts in TV shows, advertisements, and major motion pictures. Pat's GT Performer is specially designed for acrobatic or circus stunts. He uses a direct drive rear hub so that he can pedal in both directions. This modification helps Pat make all of his moves look much easier than they really are.
The front wheel grabber is a variation for guys that have the one-hander down. To do it, all you have to do is pull the bars towards you a tad, reach over and grab the front wheel. You can score additional style points with the judges or the crowd by going for a rear wheel grabber. This move is actually a variation of the invert, but can also be thrown in on many other moves.
Wheel grabbers are a staple of radness at the pipeline as well. Here, Tim Rogers demonstrates his best front wheel variation, while Tony Murray does one of his classic rear wheel slappers.
Smilin' Seppi Mays is free